Good morning, Year 5, and welcome to another week. And today we are going to look at some fractions. Now, our fractions learning is going to go on for a few weeks. Because it's been a while since we were at school, I thought that we would use this week to do a little bit of a recap and going back to the concepts of fractions a little bit. And then next week we'll move on to some completely new learning. So just a reminder then for everybody at home what we mean when we're talking about fractions. So a fraction is a number that's parts. It's about explaining parts and wholes. And we normally write fractions like this. And the top number is called the numerator. That is the number of equal parts that we're eating or taking or talking about. And then the bottom number is called the denominator, which is the number of equal parts in a whole. So this is a visual representation of two parts out of three equal parts, and remembering it's that equal that's really important. And so in the fraction 2/3, 2 is the numerator and 3 is the denominator. So that was just a recap for you. Today our focus is going to be on looking at equivalent fractions. So I've just prepared a little visual for you, and this just to remind you how equivalent fractions work. So equivalent means equal, so we can show equivalence using an equal sign, remembering that equals means it's the same both sides of the symbol. And this is just to show you why these fractions are equivalent. So the top one, I've shaded 2 parts out of 6 equal parts. And I've got the same size bar, which is really important when you're comparing fractions. And I've got 4 parts shaded out of 12 equal parts. And then the same size bar again has got 1 part shaded out of 3 equal parts. So those 3 fractions are all equivalent. Another example at the bottom there, we've got 2 quarters, 6 twelfths and 3 sixths are all equivalent fractions. And we could probably find some more. If you want to, you could find some more equivalent fractions to those at home. Okay, so how do we find equivalence then when we don't have a visual? What does the abstract look like? Well, you will remember from your lessons before school close that we said a lot of do the same to the bottom as you do to the top. So you can see from the visual before, all we've done here is we've doubled the top number, the numerator, and doubled the denominator. We've divided the top number by 4. We've divided the bottom number by 4. As long as you are multiplying and dividing by the same, you will come up with an equivalent fraction. So here's a little reminder for you, and we'll do a couple together before I give you your task for today. So 3/5 is equivalent to how many 15ths? Well, first of all, we need to look at the relationship between 5 and 15. Again, if you know your tables, this will be much, much easier for you. 5 times 3 is 15, and because we've times the denominator by 3, we also need to times the numerator by 3, which is 9. So 3/5 is equivalent to 9/15. And then over here, just written in a slightly different way. Doesn't matter, remember, whether the equal sign is before or after the bit that you're having to fill in. So we're going to work backwards this time. And I'm going to say that 16 divided by 4 is 4. And because I've done that to the bottom, the denominator, I'm going to do it to the top as well to give me 1. So 1/4 is equivalent to 4/16. Okay, so now we've got a few for you to try at home. Do the best you can. Remember to think about your tables and to make sure you're doing the same to the bottom as you do to the top. And I'll be back tomorrow with the answers.